Jesus the Christ was the one that would bring us back to the fold. Bring the northern kingdom back to the fold. Bring Judah back to the fold. And now we come together as one nation again and take over the whole world. That was the point of Jesus. That's why everybody was afraid. Because a whole bunch of niggas and Hispanics was about to come together and take over. We got to confuse these niggas. We can't let them think that they won. We are not Gentiles. You're not Jamaican. You Benjamin. Read.
The book of John, chapter 7 and verse 35. Then said the Jews among themselves, whither will he go, that we will not find him?
So the Jews asking themselves, they said, where Christ gonna go and teach? Well, we ain't gonna find him at. Read.
Will he go unto the dispersed of...
Will he go unto the who?
Dispersed.
You see this? Slavery, captivity, that's how we got dispersed. We got put in all nations due to slavery. So they said, will he go to the dispersed? Will he go to Ephraim? Will he go to Manasseh? Will he go to the Cubans? Will he go to the Naphtali? Read.
Will he go unto the dispersed among the Gentiles?
Among the who?
Among the Gentiles.
So that's the difference right there. You got the dispersed that's among the Gentiles, meaning what? The real Gentiles. The real heathen nations like white people, Chinese people, Arab people, real African people. These are real Gentiles. He said, will he go teach among the Gentiles, the dispersed among the Gentiles, read?
And teach the Gentiles.
Then he called the dispersed, what? Gentiles. Why would he call them Gentiles? How was they moving? In the customs of Gentiles. So when we was in all these other lands throughout the whole corner of the earth, what were we doing in those lands? Acts 2 and 5. What were we doing? We were moving like Gentiles. Just like we're in America today. The way that we dress, how do we dress? Like Gentiles. You see our women, they wear pants. You see our men, how we dress, we sag our pants. We thugged out. We don't wear fringes or border or blue. Where are our fringes and our border or blue at? These right here. We don't wear those. These are the customs of Gentiles. We don't know our real customs because we disobey God. Watch this, read.
The book of Acts, chapter 2 and verse 5. And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men, out of every nation.
So these Jews came from all over the world, read.
Under heaven.
Let's see these nations that the Jews came from. Read the verse.
Verse 9. Parthians, Medes.
So that's Persia and Media. We came from over there in Iran. So you telling me it was black people over there in Iran? What you think we was doing over there with the Iranians? We was learning their ways, learning their customs, doing the things that they do. We was learning the ways of other nations, and that's how we became Gentiles. But now God is calling us back. Matthew, give me that 4:15. Now God is calling us back to keep God's commandments and come from the ways of Gentiles. Stop moving like a Gentile. Stop calling yourself a Jamaican when you come from the tribe of Benjamin. God didn't call you a Jamaican. Read that.
The book of Matthew, chapter 4, verse 15. The land of Zebulun and the land of Naphtali.
So look, it says Zebulun and Naphtali, those two Israelite tribes, right? It is, right? Watch what it says about them.
By the way of the sea, beyond Jordan, Galilee of the Gentiles.
What is just called Naphtali and Zebulun? Read it again.
The land of Zebulun and the land of Naphtali, by the way of the sea, beyond Jordan, Galilee of the Gentiles.
What does it say about them two tribes? They was considered to be Gentiles.
Right.
That's why Christ didn't, and the Jews, I ain't gonna say Christ, the Jews did not deal with the Gentiles, which was the northern kingdom of Israel.
Right.
Because you gotta know the history. What happened between the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom in the Bible?
Bring it out.
They split. Why did they split? Because northern kingdom went into idolatry. They started learning the ways of Gentiles. Isaiah 7 now. How you doing, bro? What's your name? Who? Bruce? Where do you come from on this side? Where do you see yourself? What's your father, your nationality? Black? Okay. So now, according to the Bible, you will be from the tribe of Judah. So we're reading about the real Gentiles that the Bible calls Gentiles. It wasn't all races of people. The Gentiles that salvation is for is the 12 tribes of Israel. Those Israelites that move like Gentiles, that act like Gentiles.
Right.
Like today, you say you black, you American. You walk in the ways of the customs of Gentiles. Because God don't call you black or American. But these are the things that we was taught in this land. Read that in Isaiah about the split.
For the head of Syria is Damascus, and the head of Damascus is Rezin. And within 65 years shall Ephraim be broken, that it be not a people.
So you see this sign right here. Ephraim, right here, so-called Puerto Ricans, God said he would break them as a race, as a nation, that they will no longer be a people to him. Jeremiah 3:8. He would cast them off for being a people unto him. So that's where the confusion come in. Because now in the New Testament, Christ came to what? Save them and bring them back to the fold. Because God in the Old Testament cut them off for idolatry. This is where the confusion come in at, where everybody think, oh, now salvation is open to all nations now. Jesus came. No, it's not. It's only open to his people that went off and stopped keeping the commandments. Read that.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 3 and verse 8. And I saw, when for all the causes whereby backsliding Israel committed adultery, I have put her away and given her a bill of divorce.
So you see what God is saying, my bro, right here to that. You hear that? God said he's seeing how backsliding Israel, which is this Ephraim on down, had committed adultery on him. How can you commit adultery on God? How can we today commit adultery on God? We got to serve other what? Other gods. So meaning what? If God say it's unlawful to eat pork, it's unlawful to eat shrimp, it's unlawful to eat crab, and we eat it, who are we serving? Another God. So now you doing what to God? You committing adultery on God. You choosing another God over him. That's what the northern kingdom did to God. That's why he cut them off from him. And then Jesus Christ came and bring back what? Mercy unto them. That's what it was about. Zechariah 10 and 6. And then we're going to close out. Zechariah chapter 10 and verse 6. Now watch what God promised in the Old Testament. That's why this Bible is like a puzzle. All the things that you see come to pass in the New Testament, it was already prophesied of old. When you read the New Testament, all that's happening is the prophecies are becoming history now. It's coming to pass. The history is coming to pass. Read that.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 10 and verse 6. And I will strengthen the house of Judah, and I will save the house of Joseph, and I will bring them again to the place to place them. For I have mercy upon them, and they shall be as though I had not cast them off.
You see that? He said, I'm going to have mercy on them. I'm going to have mercy upon Judah. I'm going to have mercy upon Israel, and they shall be as I never cut them off from me. Remember, he said he cut off who? Ephraim. So now he's telling you in Zechariah, he's going to have mercy upon them and bring them back as if I never cut them off from me. Now who was that come and have mercy and bring us back? Jesus the Christ.
Bring it out.
John 4. I'm going to show you, and we done. Jesus the Christ was the one that would bring us back to the fold. Bring the northern kingdom back to the fold. Bring Judah back to the fold. And now we come together as one nation again and take over the whole world. That was the point of Jesus. That's why everybody was afraid. Because a whole bunch of niggas and Hispanics was about to come together and take over. We got to confuse these niggas. We can't let them think that they won. We got to make him a Mexican. We got to make him a Puerto Rican. We got to make him a Colombian, him a Cuban, him a Negro, him a Jamaican. So they will always be at odds with each other. They will never come together. That's why they were scared back in the 60s and the 50s when you had the Black Panthers and the Brown Berets and the AIM movement, the Native Americans coming together. What happened? You had people like, what's that police officer name? You had John Rock, but what's the police officer name? The white dude, or the FBI, CIA. Yeah, J. Edgar Hoover said, you cannot let a black messiah ride. We got to kill every single revolutionary leader. We got to put them to death. That's why you seen they killed Martin Luther King. They started killing all the leaders. They started killing Malcolm X. They started killing Fred Hampton. All these leaders, they started to put them to death. And then in the Native American movement, the AIM and the Brown Berets, they started setting up women in power. The feminist movement, they started pushing women against the man and making us war against each other. It was all a tactical warfare against us, and we could not see it. Verse 9. about Jesus coming to the woman, the Samaritan woman. Read.
The book of John, chapter 4, verse 9. Then said the woman of Samaria, verse 21. Jesus saith unto her, Woman, believe me, the hour cometh, when ye shall neither in this mountain nor yet at Jerusalem worship the Father.
So now Jesus is talking to a woman of Samaria. Go back and read that in verse 9. I'm going to show you. Samaritan was the capital of Ephraim. So he was talking to a woman that was not a Jew, but she was of Israel. She was of the northern kingdom. He was telling her, having a conversation with her. Read.
Verse 9. Then said the woman of Samaria unto him, How is it that thou, being a Jew, askest drink of me, which am a woman of Samaria? For the Jews have no dealings with the Samaritans.
So we didn't deal with them, even though they was what? Our brothers. But God, what did he do? He cut them off, the northern kingdom. So we looked at them as what? Gentiles. We looked at them as like, oh, that's the ops. Even though we was brothers, but them the ops over there. That's how we looked at them. That's nothing new. That war mentality we got between blacks and Hispanics, that's not new. It's been going on in the Bible for years, thousands of years, hundreds of years. It's been happening. Christ came to end that. Read.
Verse 10. Jesus answered and said unto her, If thou knewest that the gift of God, and who it is that said to thee, Give me to drink, thou wouldest have asked of him, and he would have given thee living water. The woman said unto him, Sir, thou hast nothing to draw with, and the well is deep. From whence then hast thou that living water? Art thou greater than our father?
You see what she said? Are you greater than our father? What you mean, our father? I thought these two different nations of people. This is the same race talking. Read.
Art thou greater than our father Jacob?
Uh-oh. Jacob is Israel. Jacob is the father of the 12 tribes of Israel. So she was saying, are you greater than our grandfather Jacob? What you mean you can bring us back together? What you mean that we can share the same thing? We don't deal with each other. We're supposed to be ops. Christ came to end the opposition. That's why the Gentiles and the Jews could be saved, because Christ came to bring us back together as one nation, one mind, one spirit under Jesus Christ, the King of Kings. That's what we was commanded to do.
Nation is men leading by example.